Hi, everybody. It's Andy from Inside the Music. And on today's 5 and 5, my guest is Nate Wycoff. And Nate, can you tell us where we can find your music?
Find me everywhere. I'm known as Nathaniel Rowland on the streaming services. And
Okay.
my website is nadermusic.com.
Okay, perfect. And I will have a link down below for everybody to find where you can find Nate's music as well too. So, and with that said, I got a chance to listen to your music, and man, it's great.
Thank you.
I have no other way to describe it. It just it's unique, fun, and it like grabs you. It really does grab you and holds you into the song. So,
Thank you.
um, you know,
I've got some weird, wild stuff.
yeah, but that's what makes it fun. Everything nowadays is so, you know, I don't know what, not boring, but uh, so set to a certain way it's written.
Mhm.
And I like music like yours, that's unique and fun and keeps things interesting. That's the word I would say would be interesting. It's cool to see what you come up with the next part of the song. So how did you go about doing? What did you uh, well, let's go into the first question actually, as I have my
All right.
questions here.
5 at 5.
5 and 5. So the first set of questions will be the questions that you can extend as long as you want, take as much time as you need to answer the question. The next five I call rapid fire, but if you want to expand on those answers, you may as well too.
All
So,
right.
and I do my best to let you actually answer and not interrupt you. Okay. So, with all that said, here we go. What era of music most influenced your songwriting?
Oh, that's gonna be a tough one because I mean everything from like the 20s to now kind of has influenced me, I would say. I mean, I like blues, the early stuff, and then you get into the 50s with the birth of rock and roll. You got the Little Richard, and Johnny Cash, and Buddy Holly, and then into the 60s with the Beatles, 70s with the like all that dirty rock sound, like Humble Pie, like Led Zeppelin, that kind of thing. And then even like I listen to everything, like the new wave, like um even like Flock of Seagulls or Duran Duran or Roxy Music. Roxy Music are weird. They got that one song about the blow up doll. I love that one. Um, and then I mean, yeah, like metal, even like I've listened to everything, and it all just kind of blends in. That's probably what makes my music so
Unique.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And you can hear all, it's, and I'm drawing a blank on the one song. I'm sorry. But it was the video where it's kind of set in like a Western
oh
type
yeah,
setting.
everything is falling apart.
Yeah. So that one
Yeah.
there, it branches down, like you were saying, kind of Western theme, 20s type style, all the
Yeah.
way up
Kind
into
of like
the
it's like
modern
cowboy
rock.
metal
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Exactly
like
right.
this tale about a cowboy or something, but it's like really kind of dark and
Yeah.
some
Yeah. It
sludgy
was. Yeah.
guitars and
Mhm.
some Pink Floyd sounding guitar in the middle there. And yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is that it's not a typical 3 minute pop song, where you got to have a verse chorus. It
I don't think
goes
there's
through a
any
state.
choruses in that one.
No, that's what I was trying to get at. That I think it's like 5 minutes long, but it keeps your attention for those 5 minutes.
Yeah. One thing about my songs is they're kind of long because a lot of my tempos are slower. So
Well, my thing is that I don't really concentrate too much on making a song a certain length.
yeah, no, me either.
Whatever a song takes to tell the story,
No,
that's what I think it should be. Which I love the part in Queen, in the movie Queen, when they said nobody wants to listen to an 11 minute, in regards
rock
to,
opera.
yeah,
Yeah.
rock opera exactly.
I bet
Well,
that guy feels pretty dumb though. He's the guy that like didn't want to,
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody as a single.
Yeah, and it's kind of set it for other bands to actually do that, because then was it Who came out with Teenage Wasteland, and
Yep.
all those other anthem
Those are
type
epic.
yeah, they
Yeah.
are. And if you have the chops to keep people's attention for that long, go for it. That's
Right.
what I say, so, well, it's cool that you have not just one set of, era that you influences you, that you have a very broad brush to paint your canvas, and I think that's great, because mine's much more narrow,
Sure.
you
Yep.
know.
Well, and I
Um,
think, that might be kind of the style of music too that you write. You guys are kind of doing like the country, like pop rock thing,
mhm.
and I dig what you're doing too, but I think you do kind of have to, you're more locked into, a verse and you got to have something
Yes.
catchy at the chorus, and then you come back around to the verse. You got to repeat these things, where with some of my music, I really don't care, and I just do whatever I want. And a lot of times there's not a verse or a chorus. It's just like there's nothing that'll repeat through the whole song, and then it's boom out. It's like some of them are like 2 minutes long or less.
Yes. Yeah. And
So
I'm not I wasn't ever a real big punk rock fan, but isn't that true with punk rock? Wasn't that more of telling you to F off, and
I think so, yeah.
and
Yep.
it wasn't really, they didn't really have choruses that I remember in them anyway,
Well, I think like, I mean, the Ramones definitely did. I mean, now I wanna stiff some glue, like that's some
but
catchy stuff. And I mean,
I
and it
but
would it would just blast through their verse, blast through
right.
the chorus, and then another verse and another chorus, maybe a double chorus on the way out, and boom, done. 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes
Minutes.
later, and then like real fast. So they're like,
Yeah, I was thinking more along the like Dead Kennedys, that type of,
oh yeah, yep,
where those were, quick, short,
mhm.
simple, but fun songs to listen to. You
Holiday
know.
in Cambodia.
Yeah, yeah, and it was fun, having those when they would allow you to play those in your back in my high school days at the dances, and you go up there and request that song, and they would look at you like, "Really? You want to listen to that?" Well, yeah, we want to get out there and, have fun.
Yeah, they wouldn't play it at my high school or junior high dances or whatever. Like, the worst you get is like, or the dirtiest you get is some Bon Jovi maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Seventh
had
grade
a
dance.
I had a few, and it's funny because I went to a private school, and I had a back in the 80s, and I had a few friends that were on the punk rock side, where they had the huge mohawk,
Oh yeah.
and they had the chain, was a big thing back then, from the nose to the ear,
Yep.
and so I don't think our school really had any idea as what it was going on with that style of music.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
we got away with some things there. So,
Yeah, I was one of two or three long hairs in my school. There's maybe four of us.
yeah. Well, that was the funny thing, was that we weren't allowed to have hair, guys, or
Oh,
collar.
whoa.
So what my friends did, they would grow their hair out long on the top, and then shave the sides up, and then
Yeah.
just comb it down like that. Then when it came time to mohawk it, they choop.
Yeah, that was kind of the cut I had in high school too. It was shaved around the back and the
Yeah,
sides,
yeah.
long on top, and
Hmm.
well, except for mine hung down to here. I kind of looked like Jesus or Eddie Vedder. So,
Nothing wrong with those. Those are two good people to
oh,
have
yep,
influenced.
that's right.
So, oh man, what a great I love this. This is so much fun. So let's go on to question two. Let's keep things moving along here. Now, I read your bio. In your bio, you mentioned you were diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, and then later with lung cancer. Can you tell us the challenges you faced and the ones you're still facing? And then I'm going to add question three in here too with this. Did those diagnoses hinder your music journey, uh, at all?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, maybe not the diagnosis, but yeah, the actual disease, muscular dystrophy is kind of knocking me on my ass right now. And probably 12 or 11 or 12 years ago, I stopped playing live. I just couldn't carry my stuff to the gig, get set up, bend over and set up my pedals, and then get back up. So it got to the point where couldn't do that. And then even with help, just standing there for the hour, 3 hour, it got to be way too much. So I took some time off and worked on just writing songs and recording and stuff. And then I mean, yeah, still to this day, like now, just kind of having trouble just picking my guitar up and even just sitting down playing it's getting tougher. The lung cancer, I mean, that was kind of there and then gone, so like that was easy for compared to muscular dystrophy. Lung cancer was a breeze because it was like they took out my middle and bottom lobes of my right lung, boom, and then a month later I felt better. So I didn't have to go through the chemo or the other thing that I can't remember that they do. Um, so I didn't have to do any of that. I got lucky. It did, excuse me, did affect my vocals a little bit because they cut me right here and they took out some like lymph nodes or whatever. And then ever since then, I can't yell or scream quite the way I used to. So I just kind of brought my volume down, and then now I've got this kind of smokier, raspier voice, which works really well for my music. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of the challenge I face with the MD. Just, I mean, even just little things like sometimes clipping the mic cable into a mic, I'll have trouble just pushing it in there. So it's just stupid crap like that. And getting up and going upstairs and pretty much everything is a
Well,
problem.
yeah, and but I'm hoping, that this will inspire other people that might, have something going on in their life
Yeah.
to hear you talk about this. It's eye-opening to have something to relate to if someone else is going through something similar
Yep.
or or whatever, but I myself, I had something, and then this like last week, my interview with Trevor uh, Notes, he too, had some similar issues with life getting in the way of what we love to do. And what I've taken away from you and him is that we were faced with stuff, other challenges, and yet we accept those challenges to move forward in life, to to continue living. We have no choice, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's what we have to do. And and to hear you talk about what you just said, man, that's inspiring for me. It gives me goosebumps, thinking about what you have to go through. And I've had a couple of, actually my cousin has MD as well, and I've had a friend in high school that did as well too.
Wow.
Um, so, but his diagnosis was at a young age. I think it was 16, and man, he was a hell of a soccer player, fast, and then within a short time period, he really went downhill fast with
I
his
think soccer must cause it because when I was like 8 or 9, I was a good soccer player, and then that's when I got hit with it too. But they didn't know what I had, for like 20 years. They had like, oh, it's polymyositis, this or
right.
dermatomyositis, or it's a mitochondrial thing. They did all these muscle biopsies where they took out chunks of my muscle. I've got some dents. I've got like 5 dents from them. But then finally, in 2020, they did just a simple little mouth swab, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh yeah, limb-girdle MD
Oh my
type
gosh.
2I." And they like narrowed it right down to the like exact type. So I'm like, that actually feels really good to know what it is. There's actually a name to what I have because for a while we just called it the Wycoff myopathy.
Well, yeah, that would take a lot of that wonder away, I would say, I mean,
Yeah.
so that's a lot of stress involved with all that.
Oh
The
yeah, for sure.
wondering why, and what.
Oh,
You know. Um, now, you know, have they come a long way with treatment, or are you?
Not really. No, there's some trials for genetic, like not genetic testing, but like gene therapy, they call it. But I haven't been able to get into that yet. So
Yeah. And I'm not, I haven't spoke with my cousin in quite some time, so I'm not too certain how she's coming along with her. I need to get a hold of her. So,
sure.
but I wish you the best of, send you my love and my prayers and
Thanks, man.
to you, for
Hopefully they come up with something, and then make it available for everybody. That'd be real great. So
yeah, yeah, it would be fantastic, and I appreciate you sharing, uh, you know, for allowing me to ask that question and for you to sharing it so openly. I do appreciate that. Thank you very
thanks for
much.
asking it actually. Like, I mean, not I don't think too many people are out there talking about, the whole health aspect with making music. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Um, I mean, look at like Mick Mars. He's got I can't pronounce it. You can put a little thing up at the bottom of the screen that says
Sure. Yeah.
spondylosis or whatever he's got, but like
Right. Right.
his spine is like fusing together. And I mean, he's been up there on stage, in pain, playing this whole time and kicking ass.
Right.
So
Yeah. And he lived quite the life, hasn't he?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was
So,
just reading like he was like 32 when they started Motley Crue, and the other guys were like
yeah, yeah,
17,
young.
18 years
Yeah.
old, old man.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I was roading. I used to roadie down in LA back in the day when they were coming out,
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Completely different Los Angeles than it is now.
I'm
So
sure. Yeah.
um, and I don't think he was the original guitar player, to be honest. If I remember correctly, I think there was another one that recorded everything on their very first record or
Really?
album. Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah. I don't think he was the original guitar player. But
I
if I'm
consider
wrong,
myself
I
a big Crew
apologize to
fan,
you.
and I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen them a few times, front row in '94 when they had John Corabi, the
Hmm.
others. Like, oh man, that was such a good album. And he did like a backflip and landed on top of me. We're all like, like get a hair in my mouth. Like, my friend got choked. Like he had the like
uh,
Nikki Six's bass chord was back.
around her neck. Oh man.
Oh, oh, those were the days, man.
Yeah, they were. I got some stories I could tell, but they're not for this.
I caught Tommy
For
Lee's
here.
drumstick that night. I had to
Oh,
buy a security
nice.
guard to get it, but
Nice. My big thing back then was David Lee Roth when he started his own band with Steve
yes,
Vai.
with
They
Jason
came
Becker.
was
Or no,
I'm
I
sorry.
suppose he had Steve Vai first, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steve Vai. Yeah, Steve
Okay.
Vai. They came to San Bernardino and to the Orange Pavilion to shoot their very first video. And so if you got to look really close, but in that video, I'm myself and a few other of my friends are in the crowd
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
doing that in that video, and it was fun because man, it's an all day event. It
Cool.
wasn't just it was all
Yeah.
day. We got there at 8 o'clock, didn't get out of there till like 8 o'clock at night, I think, if
Oh,
I remember
wow.
it correctly. Yeah, it was fun, a lot of fun. But all right, well let's go on to question number three here.
All right.
All right. Actually, question number four, because we did two and three together.
All
So,
right.
if I had you pick one song you have written, which song is your favorite and why?
Ouch, man. I could probably pick a favorite child easier than that.
Yeah, that's why I
Um,
ask it to songwriters because it is a tough question to answer,
I got a
and
couple of
some
them.
most of them can't.
I got to think hard about that one. Um, Baby Let's Groove is, I think, probably one of my best songs. And it's got the great Michael Garding on sax on that one.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with that simple, quick answer on that one. Just Baby Let's.
and
If I think about
and
it any longer, I'll name like three other songs. I'll be like, oh wait, no, Just a Kiss is really good.
yeah, it's funny because a
Flip
lot of
everything.
a lot a lot of times I ask that question, it's the answer is always, well, the one I'm currently writing.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good
You know,
one.
that's usually the go-to answer when I ask that question to other people. So
I do have a
uh
couple favorites that I'm working on right now. I'm working on a horror movie album, like for a soundtrack for a horror movie.
really,
Movie's never been written or recorded. There's no movie. It's
right.
all in my head, and it takes like the movie is from 1982 or 83, so the
Mhm.
music's kind of synthy, kind of like Creep Show
Oh,
or
awesome.
something like that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So
That was one of my favorite things to watch was the Creep Show
yeah, Creep
movies.
Show and Creep Show
Yeah,
2 are great.
yeah, they
Thanks for
are.
the ride, lady. Still scares me, and that's why I'll never pick up a hitchhiker
Exactly right.
or go swimming on a raft.
Yeah, isn't it fun to think back on our childhood and what we used to, watch
Yeah.
compared to nowadays?
Oh,
I'm lucky because I have teenage twin girls, and so we get to go back and revisit those type of movies, and
yep.
we're introducing them into more of the horror genre right
Cool.
now.
Yep.
And my one daughter, she loves them. And my other one, she can, leave them behind. Not really, care
Yeah, I
for
thought
them.
that was fun, like shaping the kids is,
Mhm.
like, here, watch this movie. This is the greatest movie ever. It's called UHF, starring Weird Al Yankovic. They love that one. And then you have to make a Twinkie Wiener sandwich, which is a Twinkie with a wiener and some easy cheese on top of it.
You
They're
know,
just
I forgot about that.
disgusting. Do not eat one ever. They're bad.
I just find it funny you actually tried
Oh
it.
yeah, you gotta try it.
Say that movie again, so I have it.
UHF.
UHF. Okay, I don't
Oh,
remember that. Okay, I'll have to.
oh, that's a classic. Go watch that one tonight with Linda. You gotta laugh your butts off.
Okay, I will. I will do that when she gets home. I will do that. Oh, thank you. So, all right. Well, that was a quick answer, but a great one given. So, question number 5. What do you enjoy more, the writing process or the production side?
Oh man. Um, I kind of like just I wish somebody would mix my stuff and master it for me where I could just write my songs, be like, here it's done, just mix it, put it out, and then somebody will handle all the social media shit for me and make the videos and do all that. And then all I have to do is sit back and play some guitar and some keyboards and write some drums and just maybe sing a little bit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would rather just I do love mixing though, also, but it's easier to mix other people's stuff, I think,
Right.
than
So,
your own because like by the end of it, you're so like, oh, I've just spent, how many times did I hear the song while I was writing and composing and then trying to figure out what needs to happen. And then you come back and you start the mixing process. You mix it, maybe you're at 300 lessons and you got to master it, another 50 lessons or something, but maybe it doesn't take that long to master it, but by the end of it, you've listened to the song 400 times, it feels like.
yeah. I enjoy the writing process, but when I'm doing the writing process, I'm also doing my best attempt at the best scratch track possible, you know.
You mean like kind of mixing as you're going,
Yeah,
or
kind of mixing them as I'm going.
that's kind of the
Um,
same thing I do? I think what I would call a scratch track is like a vocal that I'm going to erase later. But yep.
yeah. But so for myself, because my wife, she's the singer, in
Mhm.
our band and stuff. So uh the scratch track that I'm referring to would be me, the one singing on it.
Oh,
So
sure. Yeah.
so she has to listen to my beautiful voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, that's just for Strack, and then she takes it and does her own thing with it. Um, but I do the more I'm doing this, I do enjoy that part of it. And I'm getting more into the trying to get it right before I do the recording. So, I'll mess with the tones and on my guitar. Um, so there's less mixing involved later on down the road, I guess. That's
Yep.
what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get into now.
I like the saying where they're like, mix or no, record as if there is no mixing, mix as if there is no mastering.
Yeah, that's a great. I've never heard of that, and that's something I'll take and put up here in my head.
I don't remember who said it, but whoever did was really smart. Might have
Yeah,
been Warren.
I maybe, I just recently mixed a song for fun, and it was through Joe Carroll, who's part of
Mhm.
the Produce Like a Pro Academy, and the quality of the recordings when I just did a simple gain stage of the music, man, it sounded great at that point. Everything else was just to enhance, to bring out
Mhm.
what they already did.
It's nice when you don't have to do very much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. I kind of I used to golf a lot. So and when when you go out and you play on a public course compared to when you go and you pay at a private course,
Mhm.
the divots are much bigger, and the grass on the fairways not as nice. Uh, so to make that comparison, for mixing, for me makes a lot of sense, because when you go to that private course where it's much more groomed, easier, and even if you hit it in the rough, you're still not nearly as bad as that public course in the middle of the fairway.
Yep. Yep.
So it makes a huge difference. So, for all y'all out there that are, getting into this or starting off, they always told me to, my thing was this, oh, just record straight into your interface and, do all your mixing in afterwards. But I'm kind of going old school. I kind of want to go back to that. Oh, I am going back to getting things set before you start actually recording. That's how I like to do it.
Right on.
Um, that's,
Yeah. I
when I
don't have
get
a whole lot of like outboard gear or anything, just maybe a couple of mic preamps,
right. Yeah.
but I have some,
Well,
and my interface has like compressors and stuff built into it. So I've been playing with those a little bit too, trying to before it hits the tracks, make it sound a little bit better.
right. Yeah. And that would lead us into the rapid fire question portion,
All
because the
right.
very first question I'm going to ask you is, do you mix strictly in the box or do you do a hybrid technique?
Mostly 99% in the box. Occasionally I will use my tape machine for like slap echo, or run it through my Neve clone preamps. Got the Golden Age pre's. I'll run
Nice.
some stuff through there occasionally and then back into my DAW.
Nice.
So that's about it.
I've been eyeballing those golden age pre's for a long time, but
Yeah, they're not bad.
I've never
I
pulled the
like them.
trigger. Yeah.
For
Um,
the for what you pay for them. I mean, they're really nice. I think
yeah.
I paid 250 for each of them. I have just a pair of them.
Hmm.
The Red Mark II preamps, the pre 73s, and they're great like on especially on like kick and snare, just fattens it right up.
Hmm. Yeah, I can imagine. I know, uh, is it Black Rooster? Yeah, Black Rooster, they have a plugin that's based upon the pre 73.
Hmm.
And I use it on vocals a lot of times just to bring out the, nuances of a vocal.
I
Um,
use uh the Universal Audio Neve one that they've got. I don't slap it on everything, but I put it on a lot of stuff. Like anything that needs a little more excitement, I'm like, yep, put the Neve on it.
yeah, it just does something. Just something
Yeah.
wakes it up. It
Yeah.
just wakes it up. It is nice sounding.
And I'll mix it up too. I'll like, put like Neves on some stuff or APIs on another, just kind of make it so that they don't have like the same harmonics kind of going on.
Yeah, and that's for the people that are newer, maybe watching this interview. For what he just said right there is a big part of mixing. You don't want to have a bunch of frequencies fighting on top of one another, because it does take away from the excitement of the mix.
I
So,
used to kind of I used the Slate virtual mix rack and I would use the Neve on a lot, like probably almost on every track. And it did kind of just thicken everything up and maybe almost muddy it.
mhm.
So it's kind of better to mix it up a bit and don't put all your eggs in one basket, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And Joe Carroll made a mention of that in his mixing course, that he'll actually go and use different EQs, because a lot of the EQs actually have a different tone to them,
Yep.
just to achieve something different. And then, as far as guitar, you know, this little thing right here, this guitar
Oh,
pick,
makes a
the,
huge
the
difference.
different thickness of
Mhm.
these guitar picks on strings, different strings sizes, make a huge difference in the tone
Yeah.
of your guitar. So if you're doing two guitars, for a song, yeah, I mean, you want to go one right, one left. If you can have one guitar, if you have more than one guitar, set one up with nines, set one up with 11s or 10s or
Mhm.
something different, just to get that little bit of difference will make a
Sure.
huge difference. So, but question 3, favorite headphones, or do you even use them?
I do. I've got I think the same pair you got, the 990s. They're super comfortable, Bear Dynamics.
Mhm.
I like those for just listening and I don't really mix with them a whole lot. And then I have a pair of Audio Technicas that I use for recording that are closed back.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I do a lot of mixing in these because one, just in a little bedroom,
mhm.
so to have that music playing over and over and over again drives the wife and kids crazy.
Yeah, I tell them to just go somewhere else because I'm gonna crank it the fuck up.
I need to get like that. I need to be like you.
Like, well, I got this song that I'm going to be mixing all day, and you're not going to want to hear it over and over. So, hope you got something fun to do.
Yeah, here's a credit card. Go spend some money.
For some fun.
Yeah, that's funny because we wrote a song something similar in that regards a long time ago. We never finished it, but we had lyrics written out in regards to like, leave me alone. Here's the card. Go have fun.
That's awesome. I want to hear that one someday. Just gotta finish
I'll have
that
to
one.
find the lyrics. I'll have to find the lyrics and share them with you. They were pretty funny. My friend Rod Baker and I wrote those, and Linda actually helped out with those because we wanted the ladies' perspective on
Cool.
it. So it was fun. So, question 4: what guitar brand is your favorite?
Hmm. I don't know. I like the old Epiphones, and I kind of like them all. Whichever one's closest. How about
There you
that?
go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I see you have a
Yeah.
couple of your ladies sitting behind you there.
Yep,
You want to?
61 Epiphone over here, which
Hmm.
belonged to my old man.
Hmm.
And my, I think it's a 2019 Epiphone Les Paul on my other side.
Nice. So your dad played, is that correct?
Yes. Yep. He was a
And
killer guitar player. Yep.
is that right?
Yep. He used to gig around the area. He was in bands, and he only got to show me one chord before he passed, which was open A major, but I took it from there. So
Well, at least he showed you something, and
yeah. Yep.
that's cool. My dad, he was a painter, not a musician, but I
Like
do
painting
have.
walls or like art.
Yes, no, he's a contractor, painting contractor, uh, you know, uh, but his mom was in bands. She played in bands, and then my cousin, who I'm going to be interviewing out as well, he was a studio drummer.
Oh,
So
right.
he played in, I think it was Sister Sledge as
Okay, I've
well.
heard of them.
Yeah, back in the day, they were kind of a funk band.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. What was their hit? Is that the
I don't remember.
uh it's like the I know it. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I'll think of it later when we're done talking, I'm sure. Like, oh, it's
Uh,
that damn song. Yeah.
yeah, well, when I interview him, I'll find that out. So
Feel
I
like
I
it's
think
one of those ones they play at a
that's it.
wedding all the
Yeah,
time. We are family. Like that. I swear
I
it's that
I
one.
I I could be that could be the one. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be right. Right, you might be right on that one. I honestly don't
I'll have to
remember.
Google it now.
So, but okay, question 5. Favorite can't live without plugin. Always everyone gets hung up on this one.
Probably, I mean, that's the hardest question you asked so far, man. I mean, because I like the Echo Boy. Like I use that one a lot, but I have a delay pedal, so I could get by without it. Probably like the Universal Audio 1176, like one of those.
Yeah.
There's like three or four of them. They're all good. Or their LA2A is
That's
great.
that's my answer. Is I don't use the universal, but I do use an 1176. I think it's IK Media's
Okay. Yep.
1176 style, and I have that planet everywhere on a mix. Um,
Mhm.
when I run out of my outboard gear, I'll start throwing that in
Yep.
on stuff. And that's my answer. And it's funny because the other answers are reverbs, usually reverbs for people that can't
Yeah,
hear them.
the who's there's the one that
Fabs.
Slate has that I use all the time, the Verb Suite Classic. Yep.
Yeah. And then Fab Filter, which I didn't even know they had. I didn't know they made other than anything other than the EQ.
Yeah, they've got a
So,
few of them. Yep.
yeah, I didn't know that. And then Chris
Got like the
Salem.
multi-band compressor and
Right.
EQ and yeah, a
Yeah.
few of them.
So
I don't
this,
have any of the Fab filters though.
no, yeah, I can't. They're too expensive for me. Let's just be honest with you. So,
Someday, someday
yeah,
they.
yeah, I'll stick with my Waves $29 cells.
Yeah. I like the subscription plans. That's why I got the
Yeah,
UA one for like 99 bucks last year. So I'm kind of they've been having a lot of sales too, where it'd be like
right,
you get 11 of their plugins for 50 bucks, and I've wanted to just pull the
right.
trigger and just grab a bunch of them because I'm like once I got the UA plugs, I kind of fell in love with them. Like over, I was using Slate all the time, and I just find them a little easier to use. Like I think the compressors, I can almost hear what they're doing a little easier. Maybe it's just all in my head. I don't know.
Speaking of that, when you mix, I mean, you just said a little while ago that you like to mix loud. Do you
Um, I mix at a healthy volume most of the time, or try to.
most of the time? And so when you said you have you might be able to hear the compression a little bit better. Um, I was watching what was his name? Gregory Scott from Cush Audio.
All right. Yeah.
And he gave a little secret one day saying that if you take your volume, especially in headphones, and you turn it down and you start messing with your compressor, you can actually hear what it's actually doing. And
Hmm.
yeah, boy, can't you? I mean, it's something else to actually sit down and listen to and just go through different compressors and you can hear what they're, what's being affected way easier than listening to it loud in a
I
mix.
actually, I'm like kind of disagree, but like, I mean, that's just like my own situation here because like I used to mix real quietly and I was just struggling to hear it. And then once I like turned it up and started mixing like 85, 90 decibels, I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
know what I'm doing now. You know?
Well, like there's the old saying, there's no rules. It's whatever
Yeah,
works for you and how you get to the
exactly.
end
Yeah,
product. That's the important thing.
for
So
sure. I agree with that.
so well, what other that's the last question that you answered. And so what do you have in your for the future? Do you see you said you had some other songs planned up, lined up, ready to go,
Oh
or
yeah, got a few things in the works. I'm working on a horror movie album right now,
you were saying, right?
and so that'll be like all instrumental, mostly all instrumental, I think. Kind of a early '80s inspired thing, and then I have a bunch of other albums that I'm working on too. There's like an ambient one. I'm kind of doing a '80s pop cover, like I'm gonna do like Weird Science and
Love that
Dead Man's
movie.
Party and that Roxy music song about the blow up doll that I was talking about. In every home, there's a heartache.
Hmm.
Really cool song. But you blew my mind, he says. It's just you got to check that song out if you haven't heard it. what else am I working on? And I've got ideas for other stuff too that's kind of in the works.
Well, for an extra bonus question, how do you schedule all that? How do you go about now? Do you work on one for so long, then move on to something else, or do you try to
Um,
complete one completely? Or
I bounce around a lot, and then once the project, like if a project's kind of getting real close to like my vision, like is kind of becoming a little more complete, I'll concentrate on it a little heavier than the other ones. And then if I start to get like blocked, or if I feel it's stagnant or whatever, I just don't want to work on it, I'll go work on something else. And I think that kind of keeps me moving forward a little more, is like if I just get locked into like, okay, I got these 8 songs, I got to finish these 8 songs by June or whatever when I want this album to be done. And it's just kind of easier to like, I don't put any pressure on myself to just, it's going to come out when it's done. And if it's not done, I'll work on something else and put that out. So,
good. Yeah, you kind of remind me of that movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall. You ever
oh,
seen that?
yes.
You know, and
Yes. I
he's
love
writing this,
that.
he's writing the Dracula, you know.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorite movies. Anytime that movie comes on, I have to sit down and watch it.
And have you seen Get Him to the Greek?
Yes, I have. It's been a
Yeah.
long time. That
All the
one,
snow, like that character, Russell Brand,
yeah.
it's like just stroke the furry wall, like it's
But
shit's funny.
but the Forgetting Sarah Marshall, you know, because he was that in that rut where he just didn't want to finish
Yeah.
anything.
He's like, oh, it's just ominous overtones is all I'm playing for this show. Bong. He's like, there's like the murder scene or whatever. He starts playing
Yeah.
the Seinfeld theme song.
Right, exactly. Then he throws his keyboard through the screen.
Yeah. Still charging you for the session.
Yeah, exactly right. So if y'all haven't seen that movie, get a chance to check it out. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's a
That's a good
classic.
one.
Yeah.
Well,
So, well, I really appreciate this, Nate.
it was good to talk to you, man. Like we've
You
been
too.
Facebook friends for quite a while, so it's nice to actually sit
Yeah.
down and have a chat with you
Yeah,
finally.
and that's what I always say in regards to this is that it's nice to, a lot of us talk back and forth via Facebook or Messenger, but we never actually get to see each other's faces. So,
And the messed up thing, I gotta,
oh yeah, I can't forget that. Look at
I don't
this.
know how we managed to
And
do
no, we
that.
didn't
We're
plan
both wearing
this.
the exact same shirt.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't
the
that
Johnny
great?
Cash. Johnny
Great
Cash love
minds.
is in the air.
Great minds
Everybody
think
loves
alike.
Johnny Cash.
Yep,
There's that one
absolutely.
song, I don't remember who sang it, but he's like, you sure do love Johnny Cash now. Now
Hmm.
they put him in the ground. Where were you in 1983? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll message you when I figure out who sings that one. That's a really good song.
Please do. Yeah. Yeah. I love to hear that. So yeah, that was kind of funny that we both noticed that we had the same
It's
shirt on.
hilarious.
Yeah,
The
because
exact same shirt. I don't
right.
know.
I mean, I'm all the way in California.
I'm over here
We're
freezing my ass off in Wisconsin.
in
So
Wisconsin, yeah. So you guys are getting another storm come through?
we just had one. Yeah. And I hope there's not another one. This was a really easy winter. It was like we just doubled our snowfall over the weekend, but uh,
Yeah.
and I don't really do snow. So when it's snowy and icy outside, I can't really leave the house.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well,
Who would
California,
want to leave the house? Yeah. California is the place I want to be. I'm gonna load up the truck and move up to Beverly.
There, there you go. I love all your song references. This is great. So,
Oh yeah, just sit right back. You'll hear a tale.
tell of a faithful trip. Started on this, had the boat aboard
Started
this
on
tiny ship.
aboard this tiny ship. I know, yeah, I know all the lyrics to that one. I think I've
Yeah,
seen probably every
Gilligan's
episode about
Island,
10 times.
Gilligan's Island, Get Smart, Flipper.
Yep.
Those are all great shows that I watched as kids, growing up, and those theme songs stuck in your head, you know.
Yeah,
And
I've thought about just like covering a whole bunch of those just for shits and giggles. Like I used to actually do Gilligan's Island, when, just like
that'd
this
be
little acoustic version.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do that as a punk rock version of it
Oh
too,
yeah.
you
Yep.
know, just
That would be
angry it
cool.
out.
I might have to do that now.
That would be great, man.
And you could do it like the Dropkick Murphys, kind of get that like kind of a Irish like sea chanty to it, like
Oh
because they're
yeah.
like that heavy like they're like a heavy punk band, but it's kind of got that Irish thing going on.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. Well, if you get that done, please let me know
All
because I'd
right,
love to hear that.
will
Something
do.
else for you to do.
Yeah, add it onto my list of albums.
Absolutely. All right, Nate. Well, I appreciate you coming on 5 and 5 and answering the questions and and sharing your story with us. And one more time, where can people find your music one more time?
Nadermusic.com is probably
Nate.
that's the centralized location of it all. You can buy my stuff there, or there's links to all of the streaming services that I'm on.
Now, was that a high school nickname, Nader? Was that how'd you
No,
come
that
up?
was my dad gave me that when I was little. Just called me Nader or Nader Bader is what they call me. So, and and now it's kind of like, my middle initials are, so Nathaniel, my middle name is Rolland, which is my dad's name. So that was kind of the the motivation, like a tribute to him when I came up with my artist name. It's like, all right, well, Nathaniel Rolland, that's kind of cool because it's got, my dad's name in it too. So, but yeah, Nate R. Nader.
Right,
So
right. That's a cool name. I
my
like that a lot. When I saw your
the,
website, I'm like, I gotta ask him about that question. I'm glad I
the
remembered
nickname I
Nader.
had in high school was Wycoff when you can sneeze, which I don't know, like that's creative and it's funny,
Right,
but
right,
the
right,
funny
right.
thing, when my kid was going through school, my youngest kid, same last name, and they came up with the same, hey, why cough when you can sneeze?
Isn't that
Holy
weird?
shit. Like, yeah, it all comes back around again.
That it does. That it
Faded ripped
does.
jeans are going to come back into style someday.
Yep. No, my kids wear them all the time. They're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Bring back the 80s.
Bell bottoms again.
Yep. They
Hell yeah.
have those too. They have the bell bottoms as well too. So it's all
It's coming
good.
back around again.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. Oh boy. We could talk for hours.
I could totally.
Mhm.
We'll have to
Absolutely.
talk again.
Uh,
Maybe I'll have to
yeah.
get my own show like this, and then I'll talk to you again.
When you have something done, if you want to, come on back on and talk about, what you have new coming out, please hit me
All right,
up. I,
will
I
do.
I would love to have you back.
I'll
Yeah.
let you know when I
You
get the
know,
horror movie done.
I'm hoping to keep building a fan base. It's a slow process, as we all know.
Oh
But
yeah.
the more we do this, the more I do this, I think it'll catch some legs and go. So
I've been at the music thing, I mean, as Nathaniel Rolland for about 8 years, and I've got 31 listeners now on Spotify. I'm moving up, man. I think I made $17 last year.
hey, well,
Actually,
that's
I actually made like $90 off streaming last year. So I feel like I did pretty well. It paid for itself.
yeah,
So
it'll pay for your website or something,
it
so.
paid for my distro kid.
Oh,
So I'll
yeah, there
take
you
that.
go. Yeah, there you go.
Covered last year and probably this year. So
Well, good.
I'm happy about that. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
we're lucky enough to get our fees covered as well too. So,
I'm
um,
just happy to have it out there, honestly. Like people
right.
can listen to it or not. And it's like once it's out there, it's out of my hands and I can be like, oh, done, done.
Yep,
It's
yep.
I don't have to remix it or anything like that. It's
Nope.
just don't
Enjoy,
even have to
people.
listen to it ever again if I don't want to. But I do.
Yeah.
I go back occasionally. I'll listen to my stuff. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
that was fun.
we have a CD. I still have
Mhm.
CDs,
Cool.
and I still have vehicles that have CD players in them. So
That I
anytime
don't
we
have.
anytime we drive somewhere, we just plop in the CD, and it sounds better to me.
Even my computer doesn't have a CD player anymore. I don't know why that is. That's just
Yeah, my new laptop I'm on right here that doesn't have it either, but my old one does.
mhm.
So I still use that. That's
Ancient
that's what I use
technology, my friend.
to put everything. That's what I use as a writer to write it to my CD. So,
Cool.
but All right, Nate.
All right, man. It's good talking to you.
You too. And everybody, thank you for tuning in to Inside the Music and 5 and 5. And yep, rock on, Nate. Y'all
You
take
too,
care.
man.
Adios.
Bye bye.